What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this is my recap for Season 4, Episode 2 of the COOLEY High. Now, we see that a lot of stuff is starting to come to unfold. We see that Emmitt is tweaking hard, having nightmares about what he done did to do with Dom. Duda done let this little bit of power go to his head. He about to have the big swole head. It's about to pop. We see that Jake and Kev is starting to break up as friends and a whole lot more. So let's get into it. Now, when the episode kick off, we see Emmitt laying in the bed having some type of nightmare, a red table talk nightmare, and he over here dreaming that Tiff is trying to come stab him, talking about, yeah, you was with Dom, huh? Were you calling her? She calling you daddy? Yeah, I know you a freak. I'm about to cut that ding off. And he over here she trying to wake him up. And he just going through a thing like he was in the movie Saw, except it was more like Switchblade. And so he wake up screaming in a cold sweat. She like, Emmitt, what's wrong? You all right? He like, yeah. You mad at me? She say, what? Should I be? No, come here. And so he kissing her or whatever, and he relieved that it was a dream, but at the same time, he tweaking hard. She told him stop eating them hot Cheetos. Meanwhile, we see Kev, and he on the phone or whatever, and then his mama telling him to get off the phone, and he's like, look, you always coming at me, talking about you gonna pop me or something, this and that, you never do. They like, yeah, well, we about to pop you, you gonna be on punishment, you always out running the streets, self-medicating. He say, so I mean, what's up, man? What's you gonna do? She say, well, what we gonna do is take your phone and give you a flip phone and take your TV and your game. So he like, whatever. He go to get a little snacky poo, find out that the hot Cheetos is gone, the cheese puffs, and they like, well, who you think ate them? And so he pissed. He talking about, damn, man, I wish he hurry up and had his baby. Mama smack him upside the head. Ow, that hurt. It was supposed to. So he mad. Keisha come wobbling down the stairs. She like, what's wrong with him? And she say, you ate all the Cheetos. Meanwhile, we see Jada and she looking all good in the mirror. And then next thing you know, here comes Suede sideburns trying to rub up on her. And she like, he say he want to go with her to her little reunion for high school. She say, I don't know. I don't want to look like Stella trying to get her groove back. And he say, oh, so you embarrassed of me? I mean, what are we? Just tell him I'm your masseuse. She say, well, we more than that. He say, oh, yeah? Well, what are we? Let's talk about it. She say, I don't feel like talking. Next thing you know, she massaging his member. Meanwhile, we see Trig, and he's going through a little traumatic experience, remembering that Jake was chained up like Django in the damn hospital. And so while he over there making grits, here come Imani, and he trying to see he make these grits or whatever. And so Imani come over there and is asking, you all right? This, that, and the other. Remember, you can't save the world. You gotta chill. And he says, yeah, you right. And so then she checked the grits and say, why you put sugar in my grits? I'm already sweet enough. He say, those mine. Meanwhile, we see Emmitt, he eating at the table, and Tiff getting ready to go sell some weed, and he tell her, don't be going over to that spot over there where she was going, because it was at where they make music at the studio. She say, I'm good, it's a female rapper and I ain't scared. He like, oh, okay. He said, man, that girl, she always talking about, Negroes ain't nothing and they ain't worth spit. She say, maybe because y'all is. You used to be like that till you got your stuff together. And meanwhile, he's still tweaking with a guilty conscience. Meanwhile, we see Jake, he getting his bags packed when all of a sudden the bag of rubbers fall out. And when that fall out, he turn and look, and there was Imani looking, and he says, oh, that ain't mine. I didn't put it there. And Imani say, yeah, I put it there. I ain't saying I want you to be wildin', but I want you to be safe. He says, oh, okay, that's cool. And so he go ahead and pack the plastic like American Express. Meanwhile, we see Trig come on in, and he say, man, don't worry, he ain't about to beat nothing up with that broke hand. And so he say, yeah, whatever. And so he tell him, look, you all right, man? You cool? Remember, you ain't always got to be hard all the time. And then Jake say, yeah, we do. Hey, I love you. And he says, before he go, I love you too. And so they have a little brother bonding moment right there. It was almost like family ties. Meanwhile, we see on the bus, Kev is sitting here with young Bahamadia sister soldier. She over here trying to do a little podcast, Instagram, talking about what she about to be when she grow up, this and that, asking him. He didn't know. She like, look, I just want to make sure we equally yoked, like an omelet up in this piece. He like, equally yoked, whatever. The squad car rolled by. He started tweaking out in the cold sweat. Next thing you know, she say, you okay, Kev? He like, yeah, I'm all right. So he changed the subject, trying to check on Jake, and Jake barely want to hear him. He ain't trying to hear this fool. Then he say, look, man, you all right? How's your arm? Jake say, oh, man, I'm good. Doctor say I'll be out in 2 days. Next thing you know, this little snow bunny comes sit by. She like, how you doing? I'm proud of you, how you handled that racist cop. How's your arm? Man, it's real messed up. It'll be messed up for a couple months. So Kev a little salty that Jake playing him shady. And she say, well, I believe Black Lives Matter. Can I help you with something? I bet I can make you feel better. Next thing you know, she rubbing on his third leg. Jake starting to feel better already. He got a few ideas. Meanwhile, here comes Sister Soldier over here still taking selfies or whatever with this big old record part in her head. And then Kev, he don't know what he doing. He lost in the sauce. Meanwhile, we see that Keisha is at this damn hood wheel, fake ass Goodwill, and this girl is all on her back talking about where to put the stickers. She can't get the damn tape in there. Use 2 hands. She trying to put stuff in the counter. Don't lean on the counter. We ask our people, don't lean on the counter. You don't lean your fat ass on the counter either now, okay? And so then she giving her clothes to put back and everything. I mean, this is like a one-stop shop for hoodness. And while she in there, here come one of her friends talking about, Keisha, how you doing? You good, girl? She say, yeah, I'm good. She look down at that belly and she look and say, yeah, you good and pregnant. And so Keisha feel a little embarrassed. She say, okay, girl, well, where the purse is at? And so Keisha tell her where the purse is at, and she be on her merry little way until, her little boss come over here, with the little nappy fro talking about these is putbacks. Meanwhile, we see that Duda is sitting here looking at the tape again of Jake and Kev getting harassed by the cops. He getting pissed, and as he walking, we got his little crew, and he's telling them, this looks like regular Chicago police behavior. And so they said, well, look, we'll go in there with you. Let's make sure we don't do nothing drastic. He say, I'll handle this. Don't forget, I'm the head nigga in charge. He said, it's a little too soon for you to be getting a big head. Oh, what you think I owe you? And he said, we trying to make sure we keep things straight for the Olympics. And so meanwhile, he goes up in here and he said, you know what? I'll handle this. And so he goes inside. He got this mean mug like he about to be Kung Fu Joe or something up in this piece. And so they both looking like, man, what the hell is wrong with this dude? He goes in to see the cop, then and got his ass whooped by a trig. And he says, what happened? And he telling them, so is this how it's going to be? Every time something happens, you're going to send one of your goons? Realize that you are one of my subordinates. And so he keeps trying to pull the card. Everybody works for him in the whole damn city. Meanwhile, he says, I see your record. You have a lot of run-ins with young blacks. He say, look, he was attacked me. I asked him for his ID and he resisted. He said, oh, it doesn't look like you tried to do much. Are you a good cop? And he's like, I got a family. Meanwhile, dude, I leave, and outside it's a little mob out there talking about justice for Jake and everything. The news is out there ready to talk to him. So he goes out and talks to them, and the first thing he say is, this is not going to be tolerated. This officer is no longer going to be a member of the police. Meanwhile, we see that Papa got a little In the Closet podcast. And so he got his little In the Closet podcast. He think he doing something. And Maisha like, why don't you just go to the studio? He say, I can't afford it. And she like, yeah, but if Emmitt pay you under the table, you could do it. I don't know how much money they think they gonna make more if he got paid under the table. But anyway, he said he trying to do right. I ain't gonna ruin it. He said, my first guest though is gonna be Van Jones. So she busts up laughing, talking about some Van Jones ain't coming up in this piece. And so he getting salty. He done got his little feelings hurt, his little tickle bitties in a bunch. He like, I thought you was my Coretta. You don't believe in me? She like, I do believe in you, but Van Jones ain't coming up in here. And he like, man, I thought you had my back. And so now his feelings hurt. She say, I do. I'm just saying, it's a little early for that. And so, meanwhile, he all hurt that she kept it real. She laughed or whatever, so his little feelings hurt. He about to cry me a river and stuff. So he get up, he about to go ahead and try to get his little podcast together. He left her hanging. Meanwhile, we see back at the prison that we see Lil Weavy, Jason Weaver coming out. And so he come on out. He got his little square ready. And so next thing you know, we see that Trig is going to pick him up. And so he's like, oh, what up, Shy? He like, oh, what up, man? He's like, ooh, you doing good, boy. What's good? So they dap up, show love, whatever. He like, man, what's good, man? I heard you in Red Joe Trap House, man. I also heard you got you a little fine little bee up in there. He like, man, don't call him that, man. He like, what you call her then? He say, man, it's Imani. He like, oh, okay. Oh, sounds sexy. He's like, well, what's up, man? What's going on? Let's go. I'm trying to hook up with something, man. I need a woman with some small tickle bitties and you know, some big jiggles. And he say, oh man, you need to chill. He like, okay, my bad. And so next thing you know, he tell him, man, come on, I'm gonna hook you up. And he say, yeah, I need somebody with low standards. And so he throw him a little stack of money right quick. And he was ready to ride in the car. He said, you ain't got no license though. Come on, let's roll. You don't need to get pulled over with no license. Meanwhile, we see back at Duda's office that the news is going in hard on him about him firing the cop, which I don't know if he'd be able to do without the police union involved anyway. And so they was quiet. They was talking about him. When he come in, they quiet. He said, what y'all talking about me? And he said, look, this is a lot of pressure coming on for the Olympics. He said, look, I don't care about that. That's your role. He said, well, this is the reason I help support you. He said, well, what you think, I owe you? He said, that's your problem. You work for me. He like, I don't work for you. You do. You do work for me. Okay, and so this dude want to make sure everybody know that they work for him, and so he shut him up real quick. And Jim and Daddy looked real silly, and then he came to Rose, and she telling him to chill before you get yourself. Don't follow your gut before you get yourself killed. And so he heard that, and he stopped in his tracks after she told him, you know, don't let your gut get yourself killed, because he said he gonna follow his gut because that's what got him there. And he stopped. Is that a threat? And then even Mr. Clean got quiet on that one, and she smiled. No, it ain't a threat. I'm just saying, be careful. And so she cleaned it up real quick. Meanwhile, she know and he know he doing too much. But he didn't let this little power get to his head, and now he out of control. So he holds this press conference. Meanwhile, we see on this college tour, Gemma and Kev is walking, and she's sitting here trying to tell him about how college ain't nothing but a racket, and how some of the most powerful people and richest people and successful people ain't go to college, and how you gonna get into debt and all this. And this is coming from the rich girl who don't need a scholarship, who father gonna make sure she go to college and not be in debt. But she telling him this crap as if he don't need to go to college, which is all a bunch of stupidness. And she didn't tell that how people with a college degree earn on average $1 million more over their career lifespan. And she trying to make it seem as if he wasting his time trying to go to college and get into debt because it's all a business. He like, yeah, I need to go to make money. And she say, see, that's what it's all about. You thinking about making money. And he said, look, I'm tired of hearing you talk. And she say, that's toxic masculinity. Whatever, girl. Meanwhile, he trying to text Jake. Jake ain't having it. Jake in the middle of having a little snow bunny reunion. Next thing you know, she come on inside. She got the door locked, and next thing you know, she done came in the bathroom like old man Winter, and he getting a little taste of white chocolate. Meanwhile, he ain't getting no reply because Jake about to put that business down. Meanwhile, he's sitting here wondering what's going on. And back at the south side, we see Darnell and Emmitt, and Darnell on the phone telling somebody about cheating, and he say, I thought you said don't tell Tiff. He say, I'm on the phone, man. You ain't the only one. Meanwhile, we see that they bump into Keisha. He asking for a damn employee discount and whatever, his cheap ass, and she tell him, gone over there to the men's section. I ain't got nothing for you. And so Emmitt, he over here like, man, I don't know what's wrong with him. He on one. She say, yeah, right. You know, that's your daddy. You cut from the same cloth. Cheap. Meanwhile, he like, so what's good? What's up with you? And she say, oh, I'm good, but what's up with you? Look like something on your mind. You need some advice? He say, I already know what I need to do this time. I need to tell Tiff the truth. She say, yeah. He say, but I'm trying not to be the one keep hurting her. And she say, yeah, well, tell the truth and don't do it no more. He like, yeah. And so they like, you good? You know I'm always there for you. And so they hug up. They need to get together, truth be told. Meanwhile, we see Kev finally hook up with Jake, but Jake ain't letting him know that he didn't went on ahead and took little Pocahontas down. And so we come across these dudes and they playing video games, and then Kev like, man, people be getting scholarships for video games. He's like, for real? I ain't that good, but you think you could take them? Go ahead, man. Kev say, I don't know. And he give him a little Mississippi nod. He tell him, go ahead, man. Go on. And he's like, man, I ain't gonna lose your money. He said, well, go on and double it. So Kev come on in. These dudes playing the broke ass Fortnite, more like fake night, and then they over here playing or whatever. So Kev get in a little of the action. Meanwhile, we see Tiff, and she over there working on little gym muscles. He trying to get his little swole on, get his little muscles equally yoked in case he want to knock the dust off her ass. So she got little sexy looks, and he asking her about her little marriage situation. He say, look like you bored with him. And so she said, no, it's a little cool to be bored right now. It was a little rough at first, but it's all good now. And so next thing you know, they kind of have a little moment or whatever, but nothing really pops off. But they got a little googly eyed. So we see Duda coming out with this damn press conference in the hallway. And he's saying, I'm here because we can't even go outside, black folks. We can't even go and visit our aunties. We can't even sleep in our rooms. It's time for a change. It's craziness, insanity to think that we can do the same thing and expect a different result. In Chicago, we spent $1.9 billion on police. And what do we get for it? Nothing. Well, I am going to defund the police, effective immediately. And so everybody is wondering what the hell he talking about. And he talking about the people want to ask some questions. I know you have a lot of questions, but I am not prepared to answer them right now. I mean, I don't know what the hell he think he doing. Even Rose and Mr. Clean is wondering, what the hell is this dude doing? Talking about defund the police, no questions. Meanwhile, we see back at Papa's little in the closet podcast, he's sitting there with his Cheetos and he asking Van Jones, oh man, I thought all skin folk, I guess we ain't kin folk. I thought you was gonna come through, but I see you got better things to do. And she's like, look, he had the red table talk, and so he changed it up. Okay, well, I wish you well at the red table talk. And so she say, look, I got a backup plan for you. I'm sorry I didn't believe in you. And so he's like, but he didn't show up. She's like, it's okay. I should have still had your back. I got you, boo. I got something for you. Meanwhile, we see Emmitt. He about to knock the dust off that ass with Tiff. He up in it, but at the same time, he hearing Darnell's voice. Yeah, now it was bound to be time for us to bump into something. Hey, if y'all break up, is she off limits? And he like, shut up, Darnell. She's like, what you say? He like, no, I'm good, baby. Go ahead, concentrate. And so while he trying to get up in it, he like, yeah, you doing good there, boy. Yeah, he like, get out my head. And she get mad. What you talking about? You ain't been the same since we got married. What is it? And so he in the middle of knocking that dust off that ass, and he gonna tell in the middle of it, I'm sorry, but I bust Dom down. I forked her. And so she just look at him with such disgust. She could have killed this fool with that look. And then she get up and leave. Tiff, hold on. I love you. And she like, she ain't even had no words for him. She just got up and left. And he like, but let's talk about it. And so he just did the worst possible time you could ever tell a woman you cheated. Meanwhile, we see Lil Weavy done came on home. Everybody a little surprise party, all happy to see him. He all happy. They got blunts in the air. They smoking bliggities or whatever. And people getting a little fresh or whatever. So he all happy to be home. He like, yeah, y'all gonna make me cry, man. So he getting hugged up by all the little cuties up in there. The hood rats is popping. And so he's like, man, that's what's up, man. You done did thing. And then he meet Imani and he like, is this Imani? Ooh, what's up? Yeah, you fine. Yeah, can I get a hug? And so he get a little hug and he like, yeah, okay, that's what's up. Yeah, you doing all right. And then Trig tell him, hey man, chill, man. He like, man, I'm just playing, man. And so he say, hey, you got a sister? And so Imani didn't say nothing. He like, man, chill. And so he like, it's all good, man. I'm just saying, I've been locked up for a while. I done got a little changed. And so they smiling or whatever. And so next thing you know, he like, yeah, okay, I'm about to go on over here and chill. But he got his eye all on Imani. So he go over there hanging with everybody, dapping up. And so Imani pulled Trig to the side like, I thought it was only going to be a few people here. He's like, well, you know how it be, man. People come out. And so he over there sipping on the hen doggy dog. He like, yeah, I mean, it ain't going to be that bad. And then Imani says, yeah, well, I mean, he's going to need a ride home after this. And he's like, well, he is home. He's staying with us. And so Imani like, what? How is this gonna happen? He say, man, he busts out, hey, let's get some pizza up in here. Let's get some more hen. I mean, what's good, bro? And so Trig like, yeah, I'm gonna get you some. I got you. And so Imani's saying, so I mean, what's up? How's he gonna stay here? And he say, chill. He just did a bid. He just got out. You need to give him a chance. Imani say, oh, so I'm the problem? He says, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be all good. He just did a bid for me. We gonna make it work. Meanwhile, we see it's time for the reunion. It's like the 70s COOLEY High. The only difference is they graduated in 1998. I don't know why they in the COOLEY High era, but anyway, they come on home to the little dance. He say, man, this my mama jam. And so he say, I'm just playing. Sway got the suede sideburns popping with the fro. And so next thing you know, Jada see one of her old frenemies, and she say, yeah, she always used to try to steal my boyfriend, especially Darnell. And when she come, Sway tried to turn his head, but them sideburns threw him away. And she like, oh, hey, what's up, girl? You ain't get the memo? We ain't doing the little dress up. And she said, ain't you Suede? He like, yeah, hey, how you doing? She like, yeah, how you know him? He massaged some things, yeah, more than that. And so now Jada feel a little salty. He like, yes, I swear I didn't know. She like, how many people you done help service up in here? You the only one. I swear. And so she pissed. Her feelings then got into it now. First it was his feelings, now it's hers. Meanwhile, we see Kev over there trying to bust their heads playing fake night. And he went up in this piece, so he up here celebrating. He done took little money from little Opie Taylor. He say, man, this was my coke money. I mean, just like it was nothing. And so he got a little plan to get Kev bent so he could win his money back. He like, hey, you ever had some blow? Kev's like, nah, man, that's white people drugs. He's like, yeah, what about some shrooms? What about some Molly, bro? And so Kev, they like, man, leave him alone, man. He's just a kid. And so Kev, a little pride got into it. He done fell for the peer pressure of dudes he don't even know. He like, you know what? Forget it. Let me try Molly, man. And they like, there you go, man. Here, bro. And so he gives him the little pill, look like a little Viagra. He like, here, bro, enjoy, man. And so he take the little Molly, drink it with some brew. Kev think he living the high life over here with Molly with a bunch of hard legs. He over here barely got the lazy eye like Biggie trying to play with him and trying to win in this fake night, but he getting blurred up. He getting high. Next thing you know, he just getting blissed. So next thing we see, Kev still got a little money though, but we don't know if he end up losing it all or whatever. I guess we'll figure that out at another point. But if we do know that he got bent out in on his ass, because we see Aunt Jemima, and he's like, Kevin, are you drunk? And she said it all loud. The little aide recruiter there like, I would like to know that too. And next thing you know, he called Earl, let him know I'm on the way. Meanwhile, we see at the Papa's little podcast in the closet, we see Maisha, and she looking like big baby Latifah. She like, it's okay, I'm ready. Then he's like, well, look, don't worry. If you mess up, we can fix it. So then she say, just drop the beat. So he dropped the beat or whatever. Next thing you know, she talking about, I got a freestyle. I mean, this was probably the greatest freestyle a little kid could ever do, because it sounded like it was written, of course. Nevertheless, she talking about, I got a God-fearing man beside me. Yeah. And so she got a little rap together, and she put it down, you know, whatever. And so Papa, he's just blown away like, wow. I'm your #1 fan. And so he ain't know what to say. He was all googly eyes. She like, yeah, I got that effect on people. And so next thing you know, we see back at the little graduation reunion high school that Kev mom is over here at Nina asking him, so what's up with you and my girl, huh? He like, oh, nothing much. I'm just trying to be here. I ain't never met nobody like her. She like, well, I heard you met a lot of people. And so she like, I mean, that was in the past. Now I'm only with her. And she say, well, she the only one deserve a happy ending. You know what I mean? So next thing we see, Keisha, she done went on over to visit Jim Muscles, and next thing you know, before he could even say a word, she over there slapping them juice ass lips all over him, and hopped up on him like he was the Lone Ranger ready to get him up. Next thing we see at this liquor store, they got can't get right, the cops got can't get right, pushed up against the wall, talking about, you're disturbing the peace, you're loitering. I ain't do nothing. I ain't do nothing. I hanging out. And then we see Trig, hey man, that's my cousin, man. And they help me. And so they say, he ain't gonna hurt nobody, man. Everybody know him. They say, well, he disturbing the peace. We taking him in. And so they pull out his phone. Man, he ain't gonna hurt nobody. Y'all want to be famous? And so he tell everybody, take y'all phones out. So everybody take their phones out. Help me. And so he looking scared. And they all about to ready to shoot him at first. And they say, look, I'll take him home, man. Leave him alone. And so they say, all right, look, man, you lucky. I don't feel like being bothered with this, but next time, I don't give a damn how many phones is out. We taking them in for disturbing the peace. And so they like, give me your hand. They take the handcuffs off, can't get right, man. And so while everybody filming it, they get man off, and so they about to leave, and man he's done peed on himself with fear, and Trig talking about, that's why we don't want y'all here. Y'all don't do nothing, man. Y'all need to leave. And so they leave, and he like, come on, man, let's go. Man like, shotgun. And so next thing you know, they get in the car and pull off. Everybody's still filming as can't get right, and Trig leave. Meanwhile, Kev done got picked up by Keisha. He's still calling Earl all up in the toilet, and she mad, talking about, I'm the one supposed to be in college. Look how you acting. You got it so easy. It's all, you don't know what you doing. You ruining everything. You know, that should be me out there, but instead I'm here, and look at what you doing. You lucky I don't tell Ma. He like, I'm sorry. She like, yeah, right. You is sorry. You owe me too. I don't know why she coming at him like it's his fault that she knocked up. And she acting like, she couldn't have went to college, but she the one chose to carry this baby. But nevertheless, she all on his back as if he did her wrong. And so anyway, we see the cops, they rolling through the hood, through the alley, while we see Duda coming out the back of some establishment. And so they giving him the little mean mug as if he was a criminal while he get into his car. We see him get at house, and Rose is sitting there looking good, all right. And she say, you done forked up, right? You know what I'm saying? You done forked up. And he like, yeah, right. She said, I ain't signed up for this. He said, yeah, you did. And so he walking off. He just a big bully now. Meanwhile, we see Jada. She getting a little rub down. She done forgave Suede sideburns with the quickness. And he got them hands all on them juicy tickle bitties, and he feel this lump. He like, what is this? She say, it's all right. I get it checked out all the time. Ain't nothing to worry about. He like, well, I think you should get it checked out again. She say, well, maybe I don't know. If I don't, what's gonna happen? He say, well, I'm gonna have to go spank that ass. She like, ooh, okay, let's do it then. Meanwhile, we see that Keisha coming down, baby on swole. They talking about, come on, or we gonna leave you. And everybody getting ready to go to this appointment. Meanwhile, we see Keisha done got that brakes beat off that ass, boy. She done got them brakes beat off like Meineke. She done went to sleep up in it, parked up in that damn spot. And them gym muscles went to work, because we see that Emmitt has been on the lookout like Malcolm X peeping through the windows. And so we see later, Keisha done went to the damn ultrasound and hear the baby heartbeat and everything and looking on the ultrasound. But at the same time, we see Jada at the doctor's appointment, and they feel that she got a heartbeat up under that left titty meat. And he telling her, it ain't looking too good. We need to do a biopsy to see where this cancer is growing and going. It looks like, you know, we gonna have to get into that. And so she's heartbroken. She start crying. It feel like she was just starting to do something with her life, and now her life may be in jeopardy. Meanwhile, Keisha, she got a bunch of, you know, things going on in her head, and Kev is like, what's that noise? And they's like, that's the baby's heartbeat. And they asked her, do she want to know the sex of the baby? And she said no. And so we start to see that everybody's a little happy. They all touchy-feely. Her moms is all hugging up and like happy for the baby, but Keisha got tear in her eye. And so who knows if she gonna start to feel some type of regrets or some type of attachment to the baby. But it looked like she got a lot on her mind around this baby. Now it's time for real talk, and I'm gonna break down the episode. Now, this episode was interesting. It had a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. I think Emmitt is a big idiot for confessing that he slept with Dom, especially while you was in the middle of having sex. That would make that woman hate you more than anything, because she would be so emotional and wrapped up. I also think that the emotions and wrapped up with Jada, with Suede, with him first emotional about wanting to be with her and didn't know where they was. Then she more emotional when she find out that he done gave more than one person a happy ending. I mean, she got the Tiffany gave her the number with telling her that's what he do. He massages it, and so she shouldn't have been tripping. Meanwhile, Emmitt, he's dumb. He's lost in the sauce. Jim Muscles done tagged that ass and put it to sleep. And I think Emmitt is going to lose. You can get as many times as a man cheat. If your woman cheat, it's going to hurt you more. And Kev, I don't know how in the world he going to fall for some damn peer pressure for some dudes he don't even know. They ain't even his friends, but he going to fall for some peer pressure for some white boys trying to fit in. I think that was a dumb move, and he really do need some type of male role model in his life, especially how he disrespect his moms and talk crazy to them. He needs somebody to punch him in the back of his head and rearrange his thoughts. And Duda, why is Duda acting brand new as if he never had power? He got to let everybody know that he meets, you work for me. You are my subordinate. You work for me. You do. Shut your ass up, pizza man, before you go ahead and get some taken out. And I ain't talking about delivery. What the hell's wrong with this dude? Then he gonna have a press conference talking about, I'm gonna defund the police. And then just walk away talking about, I know you have questions, I'm not prepared to answer. What the, how are you the mayor talking about you ain't prepared to answer questions about some bombshell like this? And how you gonna defund the police? What does that mean? Without the police in Chicago, you talk about a war zone right there. Yeah, the police may not be 100% effective, but you do not want that city without no police. I mean, I don't know what the hell that was. And what's up with, Triggs' brother from, the pen trying to push up on Imani? I know he just got out of jail, so, he may be ready to nail whatever's got two legs, but I think he gonna be in trouble with that third leg, and he better watch it, because he gonna have a problem with Trig, and he ain't got nowhere to live, and I think he think that he can do whatever since he done did a bid for Trig, and I think that's gonna backfire and blow up on all of them. So I don't know what y'all think. Y'all let me know. And also, I think Emmitt need to just go ahead and get with Keisha and just give up on Tiff, because he done broke her heart too many times, and she ain't about to forgive and forget. So we'll see. And last but not least, I think they may be getting ready to write Jada up off the show and have her die of cancer and really have Emmitt left in this world a mess. So we'll see what happens. Y'all let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, bang that bell, and I'll see you on the next piece. And I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit that like, subscribe, bang that bell, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.